Aries, this message is addressed personally to you, and it concerns one specific date, October 15th, 2025. Imagine that on the calendar of your life, this date suddenly begins to glow. It's unlike any other. This isn't just another day. It's a turning point that divides your reality into before and after. Have you ever felt that something very important was about to happen, even if you didn't know what it was? That inner whisper telling you it was all for a reason, that things would soon change. That feeling now has a precise date and clear meaning. It is during this period that the universe launches a 30-year cycle of absolute freedom for you. This isn't just about success or money. It's about the opportunity to multiply your personal capital tenfold and forever forget the need to ask for permission or report to anyone. It's the freedom to choose who to work with, where to live, and how to spend your most valuable resource, your time. It's like, after years of renting a tiny apartment, you were suddenly handed the keys to your own large house with land. And told, now it's all yours. Build whatever you want here, and no one dictates to you. Understand this correctly. Multiplying your capital tenfold means that for every 1,000 you currently earn with great difficulty, you'll be able to generate 10,000. But with ease, enjoyment, and a deep sense of purpose. Why will this happen? Because for the past 15 years, you've been knocking on a closed door. Remember all the projects that didn't take off? All the ideas that stayed on paper? All the conversations where you weren't heard? All your fiery energy was wasted, crashing against the walls of someone else's system, rules, and expectations. This 30-year cycle isn't a gift from the heavens. It's your well-deserved reward for incredible resilience. Imagine a stubborn sprout that tried for 15 years to break through asphalt. And now, finally, the asphalt has cracked. What's about to begin isn't blind luck. It's a natural, powerful growth after prolonged and intense pressure. It's like getting a diploma after 15 years of studying in the toughest school of survival. You didn't win it in a lottery. You earned it with your blood and perseverance. But to claim this reward, you need to take several precise steps. This is a journey, and you hold the map right now. It marks 4 key tests you must pass to prove your readiness. It contains 3 access codes that open doors to a new reality. And most importantly, this map will show you how to turn 15 years of pain and disappointment into your primary, most valuable asset. All the answers await you in this message. We're not just saying, go there. We're giving you this map, and we'll guide you along the entire route. Are you ready to embark on this journey right now? Then let's take the first step. Right now, write just one word in the comments that symbolizes your main goal for the next 30 years. It could be freedom, creation, love, mastery. Any word that makes your heart beat faster. Don't think too long. Spend just 10 seconds on it. This is your signal. Your official application for a new life. Consider it pressing the start button in the most important game. Or signing your personal contract with the universe. Your word is the seed you're planting in the fertile soil of this new 30-year cycle. By writing that word, you begin the process of exiting a 15-year prison. Remember that feeling. You propose a simple, brilliant idea, and they look at you like you're crazy. You surge forward, but you're held back by endless bureaucracy and foolish rules. This was a time when your fiery nature was trapped in a stone sack. It's like trying to light a campfire in a downpour for 15 years. You have both matches and dry wood, your energy, your ideas. But the surrounding environment simply wouldn't let the fire catch. Recall that specific moment. There you are, full of enthusiasm, bringing a solution to a meeting that would save everyone time and money. And in return, you see that tired look from your boss and hear the condescending, "That's not how we do things here." Your idea, like a single match, flared for a second and immediately died out under the cold rain of others' fears. How many times did you leave such a meeting feeling completely drained? If you count them, those 2 or 3 brilliant ideas a year you proposed could have long ago turned into your own successful business. But instead, they became part of your vast archive of missed opportunities. This led not just to failures. It led to chronic burnout and a dangerous sense of powerlessness. You, the most energetic zodiac sign, began to doubt your main strength, your ability to act and win. The system almost convinced you that the problem was with you, not with it. It's like a swift steed being kept in a cramped stall for 15 years. Over time, it doesn't just lose form. It starts to forget it was born to run. Your inner battery, which used to always be at 100%, started showing 15 to 20% charge first thing in the morning. Have you ever woken up in the morning and already felt tired, even before starting the day? But what if I told you that this system wasn't just a set of people and rules, but a specific planetary force? And that right now, this force hasn't just weakened, but has shifted to your side. Understanding this is the first key to your 30-year triumph. Imagine you've been swimming against a very strong current for 15 years. You rowed with all your might, but stayed in place. And now the river hasn't just calmed down. It has turned around and is carrying you towards your goal. It's like the warden of your prison suddenly opened all the doors, handed you the keys, and said, "Now you're in charge here." Before we move on to the first practical test that will forever change your relationship with the past, you must understand why this has become possible now. Knowing this one cosmic law will save you years of fruitless effort in the future. It's like getting a secret code for a door instead of trying to break it down for 15 years. We are giving you this code. Understand, this isn't just theory. Understanding this simple principle will allow you to save up to 80% of your energy. You will stop directing it towards fighting what is already gone and will be able to invest all your power into what truly works. So, your main overseer for the past 15 years was Pluto in Capricorn. What does this mean in simple, human terms? Capricorn represents systems, hierarchy, rigid rules, and concrete walls. While there, Pluto created constant, exhausting tension for your fiery sign. This was the pressure from authorities, bosses, structures that told you you can't, and it's not allowed. Imagine you are a bright, hot sun. And Pluto in Capricorn was a dense, gray cloud that for 15 years prevented your rays from reaching the earth. Capricorn is a rock. And Pluto within it was a giant press, slowly but relentlessly pushing that rock down on you, making you doubt your own strength. But now everything has changed. Pluto has finally moved into the friendly sign of Aquarius. And this changes absolutely everything. Aquarius represents freedom, innovation, and communities of like-minded individuals. It's air for your fire. The pressure is gone. The wall you so long and painfully fought against has simply crumbled to dust. The struggle has turned into a swift, easy breakthrough. That gray cloud has finally moved on, and your sun is shining again at full power, warming everything around. And Aquarius is a powerful tailwind that now fans your fire to the skies, rather than extinguishing it. It's like an ice breakup on a great river. The ice of Capricorn, which constrained all movement, has cracked and gone. And now your powerful flow rushes forward without any obstacles. This means the old rules no longer work. Your habit of breaking through walls is now pointless. The wall is no longer there. But to enter this new reality, you must first settle all accounts with the old one. This brings us to our first stage on the map, settling accounts. Imagine you're moving from an old, cramped apartment to a new, spacious house. But before furnishing the new house, you need to sort through and remove all the junk from the old apartment. Otherwise, you'll simply drag old problems, old pain, and old resentments into your new, bright life. Tell yourself honestly, is there anything from your past that you're still mentally dragging along, like a heavy suitcase without a handle? So, the first test on your path to 30 years of freedom. It's called inventory of losses. This is the most important step because it will turn your ballast into fuel. We will transform the very stones you've carried all these years into sturdy steps for your ladder to the top. Every failure, every grievance, every unfulfilled dream, these are not garbage to be forgotten. This is your personal building material. Saturn is responsible for this stage. Imagine him as a wise, but strict archivist. Before permanently closing the file on your past 15 years and archiving it, he asks you to sign each page, to read every line. He's not a judge. He simply wants you to leave consciously, knowing the exact price of each lesson, so that you don't carry any illusions or debts into your new life. His task is to make you honestly look at everything and acknowledge not only victories, but also defeats, missed opportunities, and those moments when you gave up simply because you ran out of strength. Understand, this isn't about wallowing in self-pity. It's necessary so you can finally see, Every loss was a payment. A payment for invaluable experience. You paid for an education at life's most expensive university, where there were no textbooks. Yes, it was painful. But now you have a diploma and a unique qualification, expert in non-functional systems. You paid with your energy to know exactly which strategies lead to dead ends. Which people cannot be trusted, even if they speak beautifully. And where the boundaries of your old self lie, boundaries you will never return beyond. Let's do this with one example right now. Recall one specific project that failed. The one that still echoes with pain in your chest. Don't just remember it, feel that disappointment again. Now, ask yourself just 2 questions. First, what is the main thing I learned from this failure? Not something abstract, but specific. For example, I learned that you can't start a business without a clear contract. And the second question, what one mistake will I never make again? The answers to these 2 questions are your gold ingot, which you retrieve from the mud of the past. For many, this process will seem difficult because it requires delving into the murky waters of their memories. But it is there at the bottom that pearls lie. In every loss, in every pain, is hidden the code of your future strength. Once you collect enough of these pearls, you will understand an astonishing thing. You actually lost nothing. All this time, you were investing in the most valuable asset that exists, your wisdom. And it is this wisdom that will become the foundation of your 30-year wealth. And here is the main revelation you earned with this first step. Your chronic burnout and sense of powerlessness were not signs of weakness. They were a side effect of a powerful alchemical process. Pluto in Capricorn wasn't just an overseer. It was a giant press. For 15 years, it compressed your fiery, yet soft, coal to transform it into an unbreakable diamond. It's like tempering steel. It's first heated to a red glow, then struck with a heavy hammer, and sharply plunged into cold water. From the outside, this process looks like torture, like pure destruction. But the result is a blade of incredible strength. Understand, you weren't in a prison. You were in a forge. And life itself was the hammer. Your ability to withstand colossal pressure, your tempered will, your skill in getting back up after every knockout, this is your main, invisible asset. The system tried to break you, but instead, it forged you. Now you're not just brave. You are invulnerable. You've developed an immunity to pressure. Where another person would break from a boss's first shout or the first setback, you will simply smile calmly. Because you've been through situations 10 times worse and endured. Can you recall a problem from 2 years ago that seemed like the end of the world then, but today only brings a slight chuckle? That is your new strength. Precisely now, as the world around us is falling apart and old, reliable institutions are crumbling, this inner invulnerability becomes the most valuable currency on the planet. People are panicking. They are looking for leaders who aren't afraid of pressure because they've already been through fire. They are looking for you. When a storm begins, everyone looks to the experienced captain who has already faced tempests, not to someone who has spent their entire life sailing in a quiet, calm harbor. You are that captain. In the fog of universal uncertainty, people instinctively follow someone who holds a bright and steady lantern. Your tempered spirit is that very lantern. Now that you've realized the true value of your experience, it's time to get rid of its toxic remnants. You've turned coal into a diamond, but the ashes of old resentments and fears still cling to it. You've forged a beautiful sword, but it's still covered in soot and grime from the forge. Before putting it to use, it needs to be cleaned and polished to a mirror shine. We've found your diamond. Now it needs to be washed clean of dirt so it can finally shine at full strength. This brings us to the second test on our map. This second test is called releasing the ghosts. And let's be clear right away, these ghosts are not people from the past. They're your internal habits, born from that long struggle. It's the habit of waiting for approval, even when it's no longer necessary. It's the subconscious fear of authority, even when you've become an authority yourself. It's the quiet expectation of betrayal that makes you distrust everyone completely. Imagine a person who walked in very tight shoes for 10 years. And now they finally buy comfortable, spacious boots. But for a very long time, they will instinctively curl their toes when walking, out of old habit. These ghosts are your curled toes. They are the shadows of that old wall that remain in your mind, even though the wall itself has long been gone. They are your main danger now, because the outer wall has collapsed, but these internal ghosts make you act as if it's still there. They prevent you from seeing wide-open doors. They make you search for complicated detours where you can now go directly, easily, and freely. It's like a bird released from a cage. But it's so used to the bars that it continues to fly only within imaginary boundaries. It's free, but doesn't feel it, and therefore doesn't use its freedom. Tell me honestly, have you noticed that sometimes you're afraid to ask for a raise or propose a bold idea, even when there are no real reasons not to? That is the work of the ghosts. Your task now is to bring them into the light. Take a pen and a piece of paper, and spend just 5 minutes writing down 3 main fears or beliefs that have become ingrained in you over the past 15 years. For example, my best ideas are always punished. Or, to achieve anything, you need approval from above. Or, if I show my true strength, people will start to fear me and try to push me out of my job. It's like pulling a weed into the light. As long as it hides in the dark soil of your subconscious, it seems strong and invincible. But as soon as you pull it into the sun and look at it, it begins to wilt. Spend just 5 minutes on this. These are 5 minutes that could change the next 30 years of your life. But just looking at them isn't enough. To burn these ghosts to ashes, you'll need a very powerful source of light and energy. Fortunately, the universe has just provided you with such a personal, cosmic flamethrower. And now I'll tell you how to turn it on. We've pulled the weeds from the ground. Now we need fire to burn their roots once and for all, so they never grow back. It's like turning on a bright light in a dark room where you've lived for so long. All the shadows and frightening silhouettes will simply disappear because they were never real to begin with. And this source of light, this personal sun of yours, is now Jupiter, the planet of luck, self-belief, and immense expansion. By October 15, 2025, it will create the most powerful support for your sign. It's like adding more fire to your fire. It's the purest energy of creativity and optimism. If Pluto removed the wall that stood in your way, then Jupiter is a powerful tailwind now blowing at your back. It's foolish to stand still when the universe itself is helping you fly forward. But how does this work in practice? How do you activate this wind? Jupiter's energy is like a solar panel. It's absolutely useless while lying in a dark closet. It needs to be brought into the light, and only then will it start generating electricity. Your light is any action that brings you joy and allows you to express yourself. Any creative impulse, any bold declaration of yourself, any step taken out of love for your work, rather than fear, that is the activation of Jupiter. The more joy and creativity in your actions, the more energy you receive in return. Answer one question for yourself. What one thing would you do right now if you were 100% sure of success? And now for your first practical mini-quest. You have 72 hours. Just 3 days to do one small thing that you've been putting off due to fear or uncertainty. You don't need to launch a business or move to another country. Just make one call. Write one email. Spend 15 minutes on something that ignites your heart. It's like turning the key in the ignition of a car that has been idle for a very long time. This one small step is that very turn of the key. It will start the engine and you'll feel energy begin to flow through your veins again, burning away the remnants of old fears. By doing this, you complete the first stage. You've settled accounts with the past and ignited your inner fire. But on land cleared of weeds, you need to start building. We are entering the second stage on our map, laying the foundation. The foundation of your 30-year empire requires 3 key elements. And the first of these is perhaps the most challenging and unfamiliar for an Aries. We've lit the fire. Now you need to learn how to maintain it so it burns long and steadily, rather than burning out in an hour, leaving only a handful of ashes. So, we are entering the second, decisive stage of your journey, laying the foundation. And its first cornerstone, the first test of this stage, is the test of complete autonomy. This is the moment when you reclaim your right to decide. It's like learning to drive a car yourself, instead of constantly sitting in the passenger seat telling the driver where to go. Now the steering wheel is in your hands. You become the captain of your own ship, and no one else can dictate your course. This stage is overseen by Saturn's impending transition into your own sign, your first house of personality. Saturn in Aries will demand one thing from you: to build a new, mature personality. And its foundation is to stop seeking external approval and become the ultimate authority for yourself. Imagine Saturn as an inner core. For all these past years, your core was external: the boss, rules, the system. Now Saturn says, it's time to grow your own spine, strong and reliable. You stop being a flexible branch that bends with every wind and become a mighty tree trunk. The test is this: when making any decision, even the smallest one, over the next week, ask yourself only one question. Is this truly my decision, or am I trying to guess what others expect of me? Your task is to learn to hear your own voice louder than all others. It's like tuning in old radio. There's a lot of noise and other stations around, colleagues' opinions, family expectations, advice from the internet. Your task is to find your own frequency and turn up the volume. Here's a marker event for you. Next time you're asked, where should we go for dinner? Don't say the usual, I don't care. Name a specific place that you genuinely like. Start small to taste your own will. This skill is more important than ever today. The world is gripped by a crisis of trust. Old institutions are crumbling, people are bewildered. They are desperately looking for those who are not afraid to take responsibility and make decisions. Your personal autonomy is a direct answer to this global demand. When everyone around is looking at each other, waiting for instructions, a person who calmly and confidently says, "I know what to do, follow me," automatically becomes a leader. Tell me honestly, aren't you tired of people who can't decide anything without approval from above? Then stop being one of them. And here lies the main revelation. Your personal struggle for independence has suddenly ceased to be just your personal matter. It has entered into perfect resonance with the spirit of the times. As the world around becomes more complex and confusing, people are desperately seeking simplicity and honesty. That very directness that has always been your essence. It's like you spent your whole life learning to bake simple, delicious, and honest bread. And then a crisis suddenly hit the world, and all the complex, artificial factory cakes simply disappeared. Your simple bread unexpectedly became the most valuable product in the world. Your straightforwardness now is like a gulp of clean water for someone who has been drinking overly sweet soda for too long. Your years-long war with the system has made you an expert in surviving and thriving outside its rules. And now the world itself is moving towards decentralization and is looking for people exactly like you. You are no longer a lone rebel. You are a pioneer whom others are ready to follow. You spent 15 years learning to live in a wild forest. And now all the city dwellers have suddenly decided to move into this forest, and they have no idea what to do. For them, you are the most important and respected guide. Isn't this what you always wanted deep down? For your unique path and your distinctiveness to finally be appreciated? Look around you. Economic instability is forcing people to seek new ways of earning, independent of large corporations. Total distrust of official news forces them to seek the truth themselves. Your experience of living against the grain has suddenly become the most sought-after skill in the market. Think about your friends. How many of them have seriously considered quitting their jobs and starting their own business in the last year? How many of them have stopped believing what's said on television? Do you see? You are not alone. You just started this journey 15 years earlier. But being your own authority is only half the battle. The second, most important half, is the ability to bear full, long-term responsibility for your decisions. And this brings us to the fourth, final test on our map. Becoming the captain of a ship is wonderful. But a true captain not only chooses the course. They are responsible for the entire crew and for ensuring the ship safely reaches port, rather than sinking in the middle of the ocean. You have planted the seed of your future. Now you need to water it so it can grow into a large and strong tree. This final test is called the New Responsibility Exam. And here, it's simple. If your old responsibility was to pay rent on time in someone else's house, the new one is to build your own. And not just to build it, but to ensure it has strong walls, a reliable roof, and a perpetually burning hearth. It is here that the main challenge lies for you, master of impulse and brilliant beginnings. Saturn demands not just that you light a match, but that you figure out how to keep the fire burning for 30 years. Not just to declare your independence, but to create structures that ensure it, financial, legal, reputational. You are a brilliant sprinter who can run 100 meters faster than anyone. And Saturn says, excellent. Now learn to run marathons. This doesn't mean you need to run slower. It means learning to properly distribute your fiery energy over a very long distance. Tell me honestly, how many of your brilliant ideas fizzled out a month after starting simply because you hadn't thought through the next steps? Therefore, your task for this test is to take one of your boldest projects, that very idea that keeps you awake at night, and ask yourself Saturn's 3 questions. First, how will this work in 5 years? Second, what resources, besides money, will I need for the long game? We're talking about people, knowledge, reputation. And the third, most important question, what value does this create not only for me, but also for my tribe, for those who will follow me? These 3 questions are not just a formality. They are the 3 supporting pillars upon which the entire foundation of your future will stand. You are no longer planting a single tree, hoping it will somehow grow. You are planting an entire garden. You are thinking ahead about where the paths will be, where the water source will be, and what it will all look like when the trees grow big and strong. Successfully passing this test grants you access to the main promise with which we began this conversation, a tenfold increase in your capital. But there's a secret here. The financial capital we're talking about is merely a pleasant byproduct. It's a consequence, not a cause. It will appear on its own when you accumulate another, much more important capital. And now I will reveal its nature to you. Everyone thinks an apple tree is valuable for its apples. But in reality, its main value is its ability to yield a harvest every year. We won't be talking about apples that can be quickly picked and eaten. We will be talking about how to grow the apple tree itself. And that apple tree is called the capital of courage. Here's the main secret. The universe isn't just going to give you money. It's going to reward you for your courage. Your primary, most valuable asset in this new 30-year cycle is not your ideas, nor even your energy. It's your capital of courage. The bolder and more autonomous decisions you make, the more resources, including money, will come to you. Imagine a magic well. It doesn't give water when you ask for it, but when you take a step into the unknown. Every bold step you take, and the water level in the well rises. Money is simply the water from this well. The main thing is the well itself. In the old world of Pluto in Capricorn, obedience was rewarded. You received a salary for walking a well-trodden path. In the new world of Pluto in Aquarius, initiative that creates new rules is rewarded. Now you receive a bonus for blazing a new trail. And the more people who follow your trail, the higher your bonus will be. Every time you act against an old, familiar pattern, you make an investment in your capital of courage. And the universe immediately pays you dividends, in the form of new opportunities, the right people, and, of course, money. Every no you say to an old rule can bring you twice as much benefit as a yes said out of fear. Therefore, here is your second practical mini-quest. You have 48 hours. Identify one unwritten rule in your life or work that you've always followed out of fear or habit, and deliberately break it. Constructively and safely for yourself and others, of course. Do something that's not done, but that you've always wanted to do. This is your first conscious investment in the capital of courage. For example, if it's not done for you to leave work promptly at 6 in the evening, even if all your work is done, stand up and leave. If it's not done to say no to another extra request that's not part of your duties, politely but firmly say no. It's like the first workout at the gym for your courage muscle. Start with a small weight to feel how it works. You have passed all 4 tests. You have laid the foundation and understood the nature of your new capital. But how do all these powerful planetary forces, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, work together to ensure your 30-year growth? There is a final scheme, a triple code of power that will transform your foundation into a true skyscraper. You now have 3 powerful tools: an excavator to clear the old, Pluto, a concrete mixer to pour a strong foundation, Saturn, and a powerful generator to power the entire construction, Jupiter. Now I will show you the precise sequence in which to activate them so that your construction proceeds quickly, efficiently, and without glitches. We have reached the end of our journey through the map. Now I will assemble all the pieces of this puzzle into a single, simple scheme. This is your triple code of power. Your personal instruction manual for building a new reality for the next 30 years. You already have all the parts. All that remains is to connect them correctly. The first element of the code is Pluto in Aquarius. Its task is to constantly clear the path for you. Imagine it as a powerful icebreaker that goes ahead of your ship and breaks the thick ice of old rules and systems. It creates apparent chaos around you. But in reality, it's simply clearing a path for you. Your task is not to fear the cracking ice and not to try to salvage the wreckage. Your task is to look ahead at the open path and steer your ship boldly and confidently. Pluto removes everything that hinders you from your path. All that remains for you is not to cling to the past and to move forward. The second element of the code is Saturn in your sign. Its job is to build on the space that Pluto has cleared. He is your chief architect and foreman. He demands discipline, a plan, and responsibility. He transforms your brilliant but chaotic ideas into strong, reliable structures that will last for decades. Saturn doesn't understand the language of emotions and desires. He only understands the language of blueprints. Your task is to learn to turn your wants into clear, step-by-step plans. To bring him not just a dream of a house, but a finished project with calculations. And the third, final element of the code is Jupiter. It is the pure fuel for this entire system. Pluto opened your path. Saturn helped lay the foundation of your new home. And Jupiter is the energy that powers the entire construction. It's the light you will ignite in this home. It's the joy and optimism that will transform construction from hard work into exciting creation. Jupiter grants luck and expansion only to those who act. It's like a powerful amplifier. It doesn't create sound itself, but it makes your voice 10 times louder. Remember this simple sequence. It is your key. Pluto creates opportunity. Saturn transforms it into structure. Jupiter fills that structure with energy and life. Don't try to build until Pluto has cleared the way. Don't expect energy from Jupiter if you don't have a plan for Saturn. Use these three great forces in harmony, and you will build everything you envision. Now that you have this code of power, it's time to put it into practice. Your final challenge is not a test, but an act of pure creation. I call it Project Zero Compromise. Imagine this is your thesis project. You've studied all the theory, passed all the tests, and now you must show what you've learned. You are given a completely blank canvas, all the colors of the world, and told, paint your dream. Not the one others expect of you, but your true one. The essence of the project is extremely simple. Take a piece of paper and describe your ideal project or lifestyle for the next 5 years. But do it with one, most important condition: zero compromise with your true desires. Write as if you have no limitations whatsoever, neither financial nor social. As if you don't need anyone's approval. It's like writing a letter to Santa Claus, but with one important caveat: you know for sure he will fulfill everything, down to the last comma. Therefore, you need to be extremely honest and precise with yourself. Ask yourself this question: if money and other people's opinions had absolutely no bearing, what would you do tomorrow morning? Understand, this isn't just an exercise in fantasy. It's an act of programming your future reality. By formulating your intention purely, without compromise, you give an extremely clear command to all three planetary forces. You give Pluto a precise target for clearing. You give Saturn a ready blueprint for construction. And you give Jupiter a compelling reason to support you with all its might. It's like entering a precise address into a navigator. As long as you say, "I want to go somewhere nice," it won't take you anywhere. But as soon as you enter the exact address of your Project Zero Compromise, it immediately plots the shortest and most effective route. When you complete the description of this project, you will feel something astonishing. You will understand the main truth of this new cycle. A truth that is the culmination of our entire conversation and the final key to your 30-year prosperity. It's like putting the last piece of a huge puzzle into place. And suddenly, you will see the entire picture. And I promise, it will be far more beautiful than you could have imagined. And here is this final, most powerful revelation. For all these 15 years, you thought your main task was to defeat the system. To break through it. To break it. You were mistaken. Your task was much more subtle and wise: to study the system well enough to then create your own. Imagine you were sent for an internship. for 15 years. To the worst, most inconvenient, and inefficient kitchen in the world, where everything burns and everyone yells at each other. You were sent there not to stay forever, but so that you would thoroughly study all its mistakes, all its miscalculations, and one day emerge with a clear understanding of how to open your ideal restaurant. You stop being a cog in someone else's creaky mechanism. You become the engineer who creates your own. Quiet, powerful, and efficient. You are no longer a fighter against the system. You are the creator of an alternative. Your business, your project, your family, your lifestyle. This is the new autonomous system. Small, but real. You offer a new, more honest, and direct path. You stop being someone who complains about bad, broken roads. You become someone who builds a new, high-quality road next to them. And other people, tired of the bumps, gladly turn onto it. They follow you not because you force them, but because your path is better. What one rule would you establish in your own system that would forever abolish the most hated rule from the old one? Think about that right now. That is the first brick of your new world. Now you see how everything converges at one point. The widespread crisis of trust in old institutions is your main opportunity. The global demand for simplicity and honesty is your natural strength, which was once considered naivety or a flaw. Your personal, hard-won transformation is the precise answer to a global need. You are in the perfect place at the perfect time. All the stars have aligned. It's as if you've carried a very strange, unique key in your pocket your whole life. And, suddenly, you see a lock before you that it fits perfectly. Right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Your personal history, your talents, and the needs of the world have finally converged. You have come full circle. From a prisoner of the system to its architect. You have received all the codes, passed all the tests, and charted the plan for your future. Only one last, most pleasant step remains, to cement this new state and receive the final, simplest instruction for its activation. You have built the house. You hold the keys in your hands. All that's left is to step inside, turn on the lights, and make it yours forever. So, Aries, we have come full circle. We have emerged from the cramped, dark valley of the past, ascended a high mountain, and now from its summit, we see everything. You see how 15 years of pressure forged you. You see how each test purged the old and laid the foundation for the new. You have understood that your task is not to fight, but to create. You have assembled your sword, tempered it in fire, cleaned it of soot, and now it shines in your hands, ready for action. So that you never forget this, you now have a new code. A short and powerful mantra you can repeat in any moment of doubt. It's your personal motto, one to hang above the entrance to your new home. It goes like this: where there was a limit, now there is a foundation. Where there was struggle, now there is construction. Say it to yourself. Feel how these words change your inner reality. They instantly return you to a state of strength and clarity. Now, remember the very beginning of our conversation. That single word you wrote in the comments. It was your declaration to the universe. It was the seed you planted. Everything you learned afterward was the fertile soil and pure water that we together channeled to that seed. Look at that word again. It feels completely different now, doesn't it? It has gained more weight, more confidence, more reality. Your journey officially began at that very moment. And now, the final step. For those who have made it to the very end. For those who are ready not just to dream, but to act. Go back to your first comment with that one word. And reply to it with just one sentence that begins with, "My first step as the creator of my own system is." Solidify this intention. It's like cutting the ribbon at the grand opening of your own venture. It's a symbolic, yet incredibly powerful gesture that declares to the world, I am beginning. This one comment will become the benchmark against which you'll measure your tenfold growth in 10 years. Your 30-year cycle of prosperity has begun. Right now.